Okay, so then I'll call a meeting to order. Say it's 3:06, so I'll call the meeting to order.
Okay.
Roll call. So we can just. Do you want me to just read off names? Does that work?
Yep.
Okay. So make sure I remember everybody. Jost. Yeah, we see you. Pelletier.
Here.
Manzone.
Here.
Gonzales.
Here.
Swanson.
Here.
Puzo.
Here.
Mesa Jack here. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for being here. Public comments, anybody here?
Let's see, Theresa is logged on and Chad is also logged on. Chad Camello, I'm assuming that's Chad from work. So I don't think that there's any other public here, and I did not receive any
Okay.
email comments after I posted the agenda.
Okay. All right. Well, Executive Director update. I'm sure you have some news to share with us.
I do. So I just jotted some notes down. They're not in any particular order because there has been a lot going on. I think for myself and the department managers and some of the staff, certainly, I feel busier than I do when I'm at work. So not that I'm not working when I'm at work, but oh my gosh, there's a lot associated with closing an institution to the public like this. So in terms of, so I'll try to make it quick because I know everyone's busy and has other things to do as well. In terms of the building, it's closed up. We don't have any staff that are regularly on site. Ed is picking up the mail at the post office it's usually about every other day, and dropping that off and checking on the building. We have had a couple of department managers come in to take care of some mail instances or to pick up more work. Usually they're only in there for a short amount of time, then they leave. Everyone has to notify me and Ed when they're going into the building. So there's no one that we're not aware of that's going to be there or that's in there. The first few days after closing, we kept the cleaning company coming in at night just to kind of give everything a final cleaning. But we have stopped them from coming in the evening. So right now, like I said, there's no one that's coming in and out of the building without me knowing that. Obviously, we will do a deep clean before we reopen, whenever that may be. And the department managers are talking about a variety of scenarios as we look to the future. Thermostats have all been turned down so that we're not heating the building when no one is there. The book drops are closed and they remain closed. CCS we originally had extended all due dates to May 1st, and then now with the extended stay-at-home order, all due dates on all materials have been extended to June 1st. Not that anyone gets overdue notices, but you know, that notification did go out to anyone who had items checked out. So there's that. Theresa and I have gone into the building a couple of times to pay bills. Things that just needed to be done. I ran my first payroll with Paycom this week, so it's been an interesting process in the, changing payroll providers in the middle of all of this, but that went fairly successfully, and we'll all know tomorrow when that, gets into our direct deposits. I've been meeting with the department managers about twice a week. Let's see, hold on. I was just saying there's some extra noise. So if you're not talking, if you could mute, hold on. That would be great. I think Mick and Lima, if you could mute. Perfect. Lima, I just muted for you. Okay. So Chad, let me know if that's still a problem. I'm also wearing kind of a swishy jacket, so if that comes over too loud, let me know. Like I said, we've been paying the bills. I've been meeting with the department managers it's worked out to about twice a week, and then as necessary. We are keeping in touch actually constantly throughout the day. We have Microsoft Teams, and so we can chat one another, both on our computers, it's on our phones, via texting and emails and everything like that. I've held one all-staff meeting through Zoom. That was last Friday, and we had, out of our 53-ish employees, we had 44 people there. So we're doing our second one tomorrow, And I'm planning on holding these weekly for as long as we are under the stay-at-home order. It's good to see everyone's faces. It gave people kind of a chance to talk to one another a little bit. And, you know, it's just a way to update them in addition to any emails that I've been sending out through the week. I'm sending updates to staff as necessary as I learn different things. I'm looking into doing some other different things about, you know, kind of keeping up staff morale, other networking opportunities that we can do, like online lunches together, daily update emails and things like that. But I think all the departments are in touch with their department managers as well, and certainly like marketing and YS and adult services, they're all having regular meetings with their departments throughout the week. So let's see. I am attending so many meetings, it's unbelievable, both with department heads, other library directors, Rails, HR Source, our human resources service that we use, Ansel Glink, which is an attorney, a firm that does a lot of work with Rails and other libraries about personnel issues. I've had 2 meetings, these are regular meetings as well, with Niles Township administrators. So the village administrators from Morton Grove, Niles, and Skokie, and Lincolnwood, Park District, the libraries, and school superintendents that serve any of those areas. So like I said, we've had a couple of meetings of that group, and we'll continue to meet regularly as long as we're all in the stay-at-home order. I'm also, as I mentioned, meeting with the other library directors, but there's a smaller group of us that are working on doing some forecasting and some kind of planning for the future, both short-term and what it looks like, what it means to us long-term. So we've had a couple meetings of that group as well. As I said, I'm working, I don't know if I mentioned this when I started, I've been attending a fair number of meetings on the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. Since that act was passed a week ago, time has lost all meaning. I'm sure that is the same for you guys as well. There have been 3 separate Department of Labor updates and regulations and guidelines. So that information is constantly changing. So like I said, I literally, things can change from one day to the next, from 1 hour to the next. So I'm attending a lot of meetings on that, making sure that we remain compliant. Other webinars like managing staff remotely and some different things like that. Sorry, I've got lots of scribbled notes. So most of the work that the departments have been doing is, and I can allow Chad to speak if he wants to talk a little bit about it or not. I can just say we're spending a lot of time working on, and this kind of kicked into high gear when we got the extended stay-at-home order. We've created a library at home, so it's kind of our digital virtual branch, if you will. There's a link from the main site, but we're gearing everything through that. So we're emphasizing all of our online resources. We've been working with our vendors, and vendors have been very generous as well, opening up access to those materials. We started issuing temporary library cards, online temporary library cards right away that give people access. And we've loosened up some of the requirements. So if you had like an expired card from a month ago, you know, we've extended some of those expiration dates, but we're also being pretty generous with issuing library cards during this unprecedented time. So we've issued a fair number of those, so that's been a really great service to allow. So if you haven't seen the library's website, I would say check it out, because the departments, and especially Chad, Karina, and Bettina on marketing, have done a great job of pulling together kind of all of our digital resources. So that's really where we've been focusing a lot of effort. We're also working on developing some online programming that we can offer people. Karina has already done 2 crafting programs through Instagram Live, which have had some pretty decent attendance. The first one was 28 people, and I don't know about the second one that was just this afternoon or earlier today. Jeff has done story times. He did one, and he's going to do it regularly every Monday morning. It's called Reading with Riley. Jeff has a dog named Riley, so he is reading books with his dog and streaming those. We're also developing some online book discussions. We're looking, and Adult Services is looking into creating some other virtual programming through that. We're doing a lot of linking to other organizations that are providing programming, particularly for kids, story times, those kinds of things. So we're constantly looking at that, and staff are always looking at things that they can do with that. We are providing chat reference and email reference right now. We're working with OSG, our computer outsource people, to get call out functionality, working with our Microsoft Teams, which will allow us then to make phone calls and hide, people's personal phone calls. So what we'll be doing is we will allow people to call into the library. We can check messages remotely, and then we can respond via phone or email. So we're working on getting the phone part of that set up, which hopefully we'll have done by the end of this week. YS staff have been working pretty actively on creating some different options if summer reading has to be curtailed in any way, or if there still remains some kind of social distancing regulations or guidelines that we want to abide by. So they're coming up with a lot of different ways of, things that we can still do for summer reading. We have already, as you know, canceled all programs through the end of May. We are looking at, if we'll have to do that further out into the summer and what that looks like for us. We've already started talking about what we're going to do when we can open, what safety measures do we have to put in place. So there's a lot of unknowns still. I think that for all of us, we're really working hard to give patrons the message that while the building is closed, the library is not, and we're still here for people, and we're still working for people, and we still have a lot of resources that people can use. There are a couple of libraries in the area that have canceled all programming through August. So that is not something that we've discussed seriously yet, though we have already made the tough decision to not do like our summer reading kickoff concert, and we'll be canceling, if we have not already done that, canceling any larger programs, because we're sure that those social distancing guidelines will still be in place for quite some time. So we will revisit in about a week and a half to see what we want to do going forward, as it gets further into the summer. What we're trying not to do is, have staff spend a lot of time working on something that in another week they have to cancel. So just because there's so many unknowns, we're taking a little bit of a breather from that for YS staff, and we've got some good plans, I think, going forward. There's some things we can do on a lot of different levels, but we're not making any firm decisions about that yet. So it's staff have been great. They've been really flexible and adaptable. It has been hard for many of us just because there's so many unknowns, and trying to make those plans for the future, not knowing what that looks like, has been difficult. So I've tried to let the staff know that really, as far as I'm concerned, for all of us, really, this isn't an extended snow day. This is uncharted territory, that really their physical and mental health is really the most important thing. And that I want us all to get through this safely and healthily. And so that, when we come out on the other side, that we're ready to serve the public. And so I want, I say that to the staff a lot. And it's easier for some people to let some things go than others, and different people have different ways of coping. So, we're all trying to do this together. Let's see, what did I miss? Online registration. So most of the staff, as I said, are working, and they're working pretty hard. There are some staff that just are not able to do anything remotely, but they are still, there is still some things that all of them can take advantage if they have the technology for that. Like this morning, there was a sexual harassment training webinar that a lot of the staff participated in. That's a requirement of the state. So that's something we'll have to do every year for all staff anyway. So this is a good time for every staff to do some of that training. And then all the department managers are meeting with their staff in whatever ways they can. That's a lot. This kind of a real brief synopsis of what we've all been doing. Does anyone have any questions about anything?
Well, I definitely like to say that I think that the communication that's been coming out from the library, the email blasts, the
Yep.
social media posts, the online programming that you're offering. I mean, I think you guys are doing a great job. It's a source of positivity for everyone in the community. So the efforts are noticed, and I think everyone really appreciates it. It's the library is an escape. So I think that just being able to know that it's still there during this time, I think you guys have been doing a great job. Oh, and Pam, I think you just muted. There you go.
I did. So yeah, so thank you for that. I'll make sure that the staff knows that. It's one of those things. I mean, I think, as I said in the email and stuff, I mean, libraries are super important, but we're not brain surgery, but we are an essential service in that. I mean, not in the same way that emergency responders or healthcare workers or anything like that, but it is a mechanism for people to, like you said, provide some entertainment, a little bit of escape. And I think that as things go on, our time to be more essential to the community certainly is coming in many different ways. But we want to make sure, and we spend a lot of time talking about making sure that we're doing things that are of benefit to the community. So it's good to hear that some of those efforts are recognized. So thank you. And I think that's
Any other
it.
questions for Pam? Okay.
I did have one other question for the board before we get into the kind of the business part of the meeting. Do you want to see all the messages that I may send to all staff? Do you want me to send a separate kind of weekly update to you guys? Is there a preferred way that you would like me to share information with you going forward until we have another meeting?
I'd say that's up to you. I read all the emails that you send to the staff and CC us on. It's a good way of updating. Weekly updates are fine as well. If it's less work to just keep us all on one thing, that's definitely fine. That's what I think. So and then in kind of tangential to that, but definitely if there's anything that you feel the staff needs, if there's anything we can further do to support the staff, please let us know.
Okay, I will definitely do that, and probably, like I said, if the board is okay with just being copied on any all staff emails, I'll probably just continue to do that. Just because it's one less thing I would have to think about then. So I just don't want to inundate anyone with a bunch of extraneous emails that you may not necessarily want to see all of those. So as long as everyone's okay with that, I'll continue to do that then.
Yeah. Okay. I see some nodding. I think that's good.
Okay.
So
that was all I had.
All right. Okay. So let's go on. Make a motion first, and we can talk about it. So I'll make a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the payment of certain routine and recurring expenses.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So does anyone have any questions about this? Basically, the board is now giving me and Theresa the permission to pay bills as necessary. Kind of those routine things. I don't think that there's anything, and other libraries that have done this, they've seen things routine that the kind of quote unquote routine are things that have been budgeted for. So I wouldn't be like entering into any other contracts or anything that we haven't approved, that the board had not already approved through the budget process. So, so basically it's just a way to allow us to continue to pay bills while keeping Carlotta, in this case, safe, and us as well, as that we're, to minimize the number of times that we have to come out of our homes or be in contact with other people. So That's what this resolution is for. And then obviously, as it says in the resolution, that once things go back to whatever our new normal is, that all of those bills would still be, up for approval and review by the full board. And we are keeping track of all of those so far.
Did you see Carlotta's question? Do you have to notify the bank about the resolution we're passing?
No, thanks, Joanne, because I hadn't seen that. We do not have to do that. We require, the two signature requirement is one that the library, that our practice has been. That is not a requirement of the banks. So they will cash the checks or process the checks with my stamped signature. So, I can certainly send this on to our bankers. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea for me to do that, but it's not a requirement. Okay. Yep, no problem.
All right. Any other questions for Pam for the resolution? Okay. Then I'll go through roll call and you can say yes or no. So Jost?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Pelletier?
Yes.
Manzone?
I got him.
Gave you a thumbs up.
Okay,
Okay, yeah,
thanks.
sorry.
Sorry. Okay. Well then I heard Lima. Puzo?
Yes.
Swanson?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
And then,
Okay.
and then Emily.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Oh,
Great.
sorry. And then I should myself, Mesa Jack. Yes. All right. Okay. Then I will make a motion to cancel the regular board meeting of April 9th, 2020.
Second.
Who seconded that?
That was Lima.
Okay, thanks, Lima.
I think we're all pretty much on board. We're all aware of the whys and everything. So, of course, Pam, keep us posted if there's anything else pressing.
Yeah.
How's the resolution going to? Carlotta's just asking, how is the resolution going to be signed?
So I think, Carlotta, obviously it can't be signed yet, but we are recording this meeting, and so the minutes will reflect that the resolution was passed, and then once the board is meeting in person again, then it will be signed at that point. So in terms of kind of the legal side of the resolution, the minutes in this recording will reflect that the board unanimously agreed to that. So we'll keep all of those things together until the minutes, or till the resolution, and then the minutes can officially be signed.
Okay.
So do you want to do a roll call vote for canceling the meeting, or just a voice vote?
I think a voice vote is fine. So, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? I think those are all ayes. All right. All right. Not on the agenda, but any further questions, comments for Pam? I hope you were all staying safe and healthy.
So far.
Sending my best to you all to remain sane and safe and healthy during this time. We'll get through this. There's another side. All right, Pam, did you have anything else you wanted to share?
I don't think so. I just would like to thank the board again for your continued support through this, both for myself and the staff. It means a lot to them. It means a lot to me. And again, just wanted to say thank you for that.
Of course, of course. All right, well, it was nice to see some of your faces, and job well done, Pam. Yes, second that.
Yes.
Very true, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. It's
All right, well, good. It's good to hear everyone's voices, hear everyone's faces. It is 3:30. Meeting is adjourned.